Part two of why you should pull your client's hair. Talked about how it is a great tactile cue to reinforce dynamic alignment and good head and neck control during movement. But what I didn't talk about was the neurological effects of a little bit of a gentle hair pull as well. This is where we can get into the nuance of using a hair pull for treatment, specifically to decrease central nervous system tension patterns or to facilitate a more parasympathetic nervous system state. So I've talked about before how those are not equal. Central nervous system tension is a mechanical pattern that creates sort of an adverse tension in the entire nervous system. It's driven by cranial tension, hence the term central nervous system tension, but it also is reflected in the peripheral nerves. So you'll have adverse neural tension of the peripheral nerves of the upper extremity or the lower extremity when you have mechanical central nervous system tension as well, versus the autonomic nervous system, which is going to be looking at more of this parasympathetic response. Now, the benefit of a gentle hair pull is you get both. You get influence via the occipital nerves or the ophthalmic branches of the trigeminal nerve, which actually anastomose. The occipital nerves come up from the back. The ophthalmic branches of the trigeminal nerve come from the front. They anastomose around the crown of the head. Anastomose means that they join together. These nerves innervate our meninges, or the thickening of our dura, which is the lining of our brain. And the meninges help to maintain good intracranial pressure and really drive a lot of the tensions that we find in our cranium. Also, the trigeminal nerve, now not a parasympathetic nerve, also anastomose with nerves that are parasympathetic. And also, the trigeminal nerve is very important for our social engagement and has a connection to our overall feelings of threat and safety via the reticular activation system. So when we have tension in our cranium, the rest of our spinal cord, which is the rest of our central nervous system tension, side bends to the side of the tension. This general full body side bending position creates adverse tension on the nerves in the periphery. So the long nerves that go to the fingers and go to the feet. So oftentimes by doing a little hair pull on our scalp, anywhere on our scalp, not just the base of the skull like we talked about in the part 1 video, we can have a reflexive relaxation of cranial tension, and therefore the whole system gets out of the side bending and the adverse tension on the peripheral nerves also decreases. For the parasympathetic nervous system part, when you pull your hair, no matter if it is the ophthalmic branches or the upper cervical nerve branches, both of those nerves, anastomose, join together with parasympathetic nerves. Parasympathetic nerves, specifically the trigeminal nerve, joins together with the oculomotor nerve, cranial nerve 3, and then the occipital nerve joins together with the vagus nerve and the glossopharyngeal nerve, all parasympathetic nerves. So that reflexive relationship can help us shift into a more parasympathetic nervous system state. In general, when we're in a more parasympathetic nervous system state, we tend to have a more three-dimensional breath pattern, allowing for a deeper or a more fuller contraction of the diaphragm during an inhalation and an exhalation breath, which is going to organize our core in a better way, which is also going to support that head and neck position and that dynamic alignment, which we spoke about in part 1. So you have multiple reasons why it's important to add in a little gentle hair pull for your treatment sessions. Now, some of the questions were too, like what to do when people don't have hair. They still have a scalp. It's the skin that is innervated by those nerves, not the hair. The hair is a lever to pull, to do a skin lift of the scalp. So really, you can do this with a skin stretch on the scalp. You can do it with tapping, really any sensory thing. And going back to the cueing of integrating head and neck control in that prone position, also just tapping, touching, lifting that base of the skull, the sides of the ear, back, all of those are great tactile cues to use. But when it comes to the actual act of the hair pull or the skin stretch of the scalp, you get added benefit, not just the tactile cue of improving dynamic alignment, but you get the added benefit of a reflexive response on the central nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, and the parasympathetic nervous system of the ANS.